So hey there. Sorry about all the glare, but it's dark out. And I was thinking about just a bunch of stuff. I haven't done a Pots and Thoughts in a really long time, and I'm sorry about that. Things have been really crazy and busy. But let's start like we always do with Pots and Thoughts. And that's our breathe in, breathe out, right? Yes, it's dorky, but I think all of us need to take a breath right now, don't we? Yeah. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. And we're going to do 3 of those. So here we go. Okay? You can breathe. You can do it. When you're breathing, remember to focus on a sensation. Do you feel it more like when you breathe in? Do you feel it like through your sinuses, through your throat, through your chest, through down here, which is where you should be breathing in? You know, just whatever works. There's no wrong way to do it, okay? But do breathe from here and then fill this up. I'm sorry, I look even fatter because I've got this big old bulky sweater. But anyhow, okay, let's breathe. 1, 2, 3. In. Hold. In. Just feel all that tension leaking out. Better, huh? Yeah, it's crazy. Simple thing like breathing. Anyway, so I threw some cups this morning. Shocking, I know. I'm like on a tear. I've been on a tear for cups for like a year. But yeah, because I want to get some stuff done for Christmas, for the holidays, to be able to sell. And so here's one of the cups that I threw this morning. Pretty nifty. And I'll just do a little measuring. I guess this is like my poor man's tanbo. Tanbo is a little measuring thing that the Japanese do. And so I use a Japanese chopstick and a Chinese chopstick. The Japanese are square, and the Chinese are round, or the other way around, whatever. One square, one round, okay? The square I lie across there, and this goes down, and I don't poke it. I just let it rest there, and then I pull this out so I can see how much, let's see, and get an idea. That's how much I have to trim, which means I don't have that much to trim, because, of course, you don't want to trim through the bottom, right? So there you go. That is my lesson for the morning, or the evening, I should say. Anyhow, so I've got this handy-dandy Giffen grip. I know some people love these, some people hate these. I do, in fact, know how to center, but this just makes it faster and easier for me, so that's what I use. And you're seeing me shrunk down because I moved some of my gear, and now I can't get my camera far enough back to include everything, so I'm going to be short today. So I'm thinking about a lot of the, obviously, as most of us are, the election stuff, and just, fair warning, I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I'm one of those crazy people who thinks that women should have rights and human rights should be a thing. Make human rights fashionable again, shall we? And so just, fair warning. And I'm, of course, just really extremely dismayed by this election and the results and all of that stuff. Not for any other reason but the fact that we've got somebody who's getting into office, apparently, that is not a nice man. And it bothers me a lot, and I'm not sure how to sit with this, Of course, the MAGA people who are noted for not having any kind of sympathy or empathy are like, get over it, she lost. And it's like, you know what? No, that's really not how this works. Because there's a lot of grief that's associated with it. And I've learned the hard way in other parts of my life that not paying attention to your grief is not a way to deal with things. It's not healthy. It comes out one way or the other. Sometimes it comes out in healthy ways, which is, actually crying, which is what crying is for. And it's that release of tension, isn't it? So yeah, so I think about this quite a lot. And it's not bad. And I still have to figure it out. I mean, I'm angry. I'm really angry. I'm angry at the way that I personally was treated by certain individuals in my life. Because nobody likes to have people like, Trump 2024, ha ha, from someone you love and care about, and someone you wish had your back. And of course, you've discovered they don't, because, when you tell them you're going to be voting against me having my medical insurance, and they laugh, that's sort of personal, isn't it? And of course, I dropped it. So, things like that are really painful to process. And I've had a lot of experience, unfortunately for me, with various and sundry forms of psychological abuse. And that's really what that is. When people come bouncing in and going, ha ha, we won and you lost, neener. And, I'm lucky I'm a straight white lady. Well, I'm white-ish. I hit everybody's radar as white anyway. But I'm a straight white lady, and I am privileged. I know it. I'm really lucky. I can walk around in society and hide myself in and among those who would harm me because I have different views, right? But there are a lot of people who can't. And those are the people I worry about. Those are the people I'm concerned about, because, life is not just about me, right? People who have some kind of, decent amount of self-awareness. I mean, we all know that we really are all in this together, and we should be treating each other with care and with respect. And unfortunately, let's see if this works. Unfortunately, these days, it seems to be that love and respect and kindness is optional. And I have to admit that, I'm not always loving and kind and compassionate. I too can react with anger, and do. And I'm not really proud of that. I mean, I sort of wish that I could, remember to breathe my way through it, but I have to remind myself that I am a work in progress. And boy, what a piece of work I can be. But in all seriousness, I have to remind myself to, be kind to me. And I think that's the important thing to remember for yourself, too. If you're like me, if you're a person who is colossally disappointed with the results of the election, if you're going to be negatively impacted by it directly or even indirectly, you have friends of yours who are potentially going to be deported, who have just been in this country minding their own business for all of this time, and now suddenly, because of the color of their skin, they're going to be criminals. It's shocking and it's sad, and it's a lot to process, isn't it? It really is. It's a lot to process. I mean, I have hopes that there will be a recount, but I'm not going to hold my breath, And I think all of us have to, we have to take care of ourselves first. It's that old saying about, like when you're on an airplane, they tell you to take the oxygen mask for yourself first, and then you can turn around and help the person next to you or the child next to you. And it's really true. We're kept on this hamster wheel of running around just trying to make ends meet, and then we have all of this other business going on, this nonsense that I fall into it too. We think we're apart from each other, and we're not. I mean, we're really not. We're all human beings. I know, like, hey, isn't that a genius observation to make? But we are. It's true. We're human, and I just think that we're supposed to be here to care about each other and care for each other and treat each other well and all that. And I say that as someone who has not always done that in my life, and to my chagrin. And I'm not proud of some of the shit that I've been too injured and clueless to understand the repercussions that my actions had on other people. But I think that what we can do moving forward for ourselves is to give ourselves some love and give ourselves some grace, and try and be kind to ourselves first. If you can, take that hot bath with some Epsom salts or some lavender oil or whatever, and have if you are not someone who has to worry about your sobriety, have a glass of wine, read a book, just escape for a little while. Because being kind to ourselves at this moment in time is crucial, because it'll give you the space to be able to think rationally and give yourself a moment to pause. Yes, I'm furious. I really am. I'm furious. I'm so angry. I'm so colossally disappointed in what's going on right now. I am. I can't hide it. And I'm not aware of how to transform my rage yet. I just haven't had enough time to process that. But I know ultimately that I will. Something else will come along, and ultimately, I mean, we'll all be okay. Like, humanity has lived through a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it looks like we're on the brink of war with whomever, because but humanity has lived through that before, and if we wink out now, or if we wink out in 1,000 years, all things do come to an end. But the important part, I think, is what we do in the meantime. How we treat each other is important. How we treat ourselves, how we respect ourselves. I think that's of paramount importance, because at the end of all things, you really need to be able to look yourself in the mirror and not be ashamed of what you've done to other people, not be ashamed that you deliberately cause suffering in others. And I'm going to have to try and take my own advice, because I want to lash out right now, and I have, but I just want to offer you the solace that, yeah, I mean, I don't think any of you guys have looked up to me like, like I'm a Buddhist nun or anything even close to that. But, I just want you to know that a lot of us are struggling with the same thing, and we're struggling with sticking to being compassionate. And just give yourself a little grace. We're all a work in process, right? So anyway, so this is the usual thing. If you like my content, follow me here, subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Instagram and Tumblr, and well, now I've got a Tickety Talk, as a friend of mine calls it. And yeah, I've got all these places, and I'll put the little link tree up. But yeah, so follow me everywhere, Shellhawk or Shellhawk's Creations, and have yourself a really good night. And remember, when things get overwhelming like that, just breathe. Have a great night, okay?